Today we have in the studios of All India Radio retired Lieutenant Rita Gangwani, who is a motivational speaker, provides professional training, coaching, and helps people dramatically enhance their skills, performance, confidence, and self-worth. And I am Monica Gulati. Welcome you, Rita ji, in the studios of All India Radio.
Thank you.
Today, when you look back, do you remember your childhood and what memories do you have as baby Rita?
Well, my childhood has been a very, very beautiful one. One, because I was the only sister and the youngest one, born 14 years after my brothers. So I was very much a pampered child, very, very naughty, and very, very in demand. Why in demand? Because I always used to love, attracting people and getting attention. And there's this very beautiful ice skating rink in Shimla, where we used to go in winter to do our ice skating. So every time, and I, till date, let me confess that I still don't know how to skate. But I went there, I used to buy those skates and put them on my shoulders and walk around the mall road just showing off, That's a beautiful memory because nowadays you hardly get to see people walking around with the skates on their shoulders on the mall road. That is one beautiful memory I have. Those lovely songs they used to play at the All India, at the ice skating rink. So it was really, really wonderful. And of course, as a child, I was exposed, my mother was a singer. So I was exposed to a lot of events and a lot of places where I had the opportunity to sing and, grow. And that confidence has come to me right from my childhood when I was just 6 years old. So as I was telling you, it was a beautiful childhood. I think my confidence, my whatever I am today, somewhere or the other, the seed was sown as a very confident child when I was a little girl.
So as a little girl, did you aspire to become a singer? You said your mother used to sing.
Well, like every little child, I had a lot of dreams, because when you are young, you don't have any specific goal. Anything which attracts you, you want to become that. I wanted to be a police lady. I wanted to become a fire lady. I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be Miss India. I wanted to be singer. Too many things. But yes, singing has always been a passion. Given a chance, I would have loved to be a playback singer. But as they say, destiny has its own course. So maybe singing has now become a part of my hobby and my life has taken me towards something more constructive, something more inspirational for people. Where whatever I have learnt right from my childhood, whatever setbacks I have faced, I'm able to now share it with the world and, inspire them ahead in life.
Yeah, and you never wanted to become a singer as a professional.
I wanted to, but I know in those days also it was a very tough journey. It was difficult to get into film line and many people, they didn't in those days, nowadays it's a very well known profession, but in those days people were not very keen. My dad was not very keen, for me to get into the film industry. He was happy with me singing bhajans and all everywhere, but he didn't want me to actually become a playback singer and move all the way from Shimla to Bombay.
And what inspired you to join armed forces and how was your experience?
What inspired me was a film called Upkar. If you can recall, this movie had a lot of patriotism. There was Manoj Kumar, who was an army man here, who lost his legs or something. And when he fought the battle, he was taken to the army hospital for treatment. So when I saw that army hospital in the tents and those doctors and the army uniform, somewhere or the other, at that particular moment, I just wanted to be in those shoes and be there in that tent. So that was where the idea had actually was born in my brain, but I never thought I'll actually be able to turn it into reality. So I'm really, really very happy because very few people today get a chance to live up to their dreams. So God has been kind that I could, live my dream in reality.
So how much of hard work and how was the training?
For all the people who are in the army, they would know. And for people who are wanting to join the army, I would tell you it's not an easy job. Army is a very, very disciplined service. We as a civilians, we take life very easy. But army is very time bound, very disciplined, very commanding. When they tell you to do something, you do it and you do it with your full heart. There is no ifs and buts. Yes, the training was tough. There were certain things, because I'm very short at height, there were certain things which I was unable to do, but I still managed to do. The discipline, the way we are actually treated in the army, makes you a wonderful person. They teach you the P's and Q's of the world. They teach you the etiquette. They teach you how to handle yourself in public. They teach you the respect for uniform. They teach you the respect for your country. So many beautiful things were taught to us, that I'm a very, very proud ex-army man now, because if I hadn't been in the army, I don't think I would have been the person I am today. It was a tough journey, but a beautiful journey, and it was going to remain a tough journey for anybody who wanting to join the army. But if you have the heart and if you have the desire, I'm sure everyone can make it.
Everyone can make it, and you said discipline is very important for life. And
discipline and time management. These are the two keys to success.
Very true. So what should we do to inculcate in the children also? How successful had you been inculcating in your child?
To inculcate these kind of habits in your children, you yourself have to be disciplined. I'll just share a story of Mahatma Gandhi ji, that a mother went to Mahatma Gandhi ji and said that, her daughter was having a lot of sweets and they were very good, very, very bad for the health of the child. So she told Mahatma ji, what should I do to stop my daughter from having these sweets? So Mahatma Gandhi ji said, come after 3 days. So this lady, she came back after 3 days, and then she again said to Mahatma Gandhi ji, please tell my daughter not to have sweets. So Mahatma Gandhi ji told that girl, so please beta, don't have sweets, they are not good for your health. So mother said, Gandhi ji, you could have said the same thing 3 days back. Why did you call me 3 days later? So Mahatma Gandhi ji said, it's because I myself loved sweets, and if I have to tell this little girl not to have sweets, I have to be a role model. I have to preach what I practice. So parents have to preach. Parents have to practice what they preach.
The role model.
Because if they themselves do not know time management, they'll never be able to teach it to children. So there has to be a timetable in the household, what time to get up, what time to sleep, what time for play. Everything has to be done at a particular time. And when you follow it through and it becomes a routine in your life, I think then it becomes a part of your life itself.
The role models parents have to become and project to the children, and
Absolutely.
That is going to be a success.
Absolutely. You tell a child to do something, they will never do. They say people don't do what they listen, they do what they see. So you have to be the one who has to, put this into your children.
And the basic root of the personality, it has to be socialized during the years of socialization only.
Absolutely.
So the grains have to be ingrained there
right
only.
From the childhood.
Right from the childhood.
And unfortunately in today's world, we are in the world of show off. Unfortunately. So people think that looking nice, wearing branded clothes and being fair and having a best haircut and blah blah, carrying the best bag is called good personality. But no, that is not a good personality. Personality is made up of 5 elements. Just like the earth is made up of 5 elements. They say the fire, the water, the air, the earth and the sky. These are the 5 elements with which the earth is made, and earth has all these 5 elements in a balance. Exactly in the same way, a person should have 5 qualities. The physical, the person should look nice, should wear nice clothes. I don't see branded clothes, means the person should be neat and clean, should have personal hygiene. Mental, should know how to control the anger, should know how to control their emotions. Physical, mental, social, should have the etiquette, how to deal with people. Cultural, should not have any kind of a discrimination between rich and poor and class system. And spiritual, a person should have belief in their own self. So if you work on these 5, you should say the legs or the pillars of a personality, anyone can become a good personality. So parents should tell their children that it's not just the physical part. They have to be a good human being too. And once they inculcate these 5 pillars into any child, I'm sure they would be wonderful citizens of India and they would make their parents really very proud.
Life is all about taking risks. So what is the biggest risk you have ever taken?
Well, the biggest risk I took was to get into the army examination. I never ever thought that I will be able to make it, because in my eyes, I thought army is only looking for people who are highly intelligent, people who are very tall, who have the right persona. Though I was intelligent and I think I'm okay with my intelligence, but sitting in that exam was still okay. Passing the written examination was still easy. The biggest risk was to appear for the interview. And I still remember the question which was put to me was, what if we do not select you? That was a question the panel had put me. And my answer was, sir, I'm sure you will select me. So I haven't thought about it. So that was a question
Positive.
which actually got me into that, because they realized that, she has that positive thing in her. So that was the biggest risk, because I had this biggest plan of being in the army. I had no other goal in life. And if I had failed, I wouldn't actually know what would I, have done at that particular time. So that was the biggest risk I actually took.
And the fear of failure.
The fear of failure. And one thing I would like to tell people that, in every step of life you fail, because in life is the only university which first gives you the exam and then teaches you. It's not like first we learn and then we give an exam, but life's university is the only university where you give the exam and from the exam you finally get a learning. So you might fail 100 times in life. There are big people like Edison and Amitabh Bachchan ji who must have failed so many times in their lives, but they are now our role models because they have learned. They're like a football. The harder you throw, the faster they bounce back. So failure is a part of learning. But a lot of people give up just by one failure or two failures. But no, failure is a stepping stone to success. So people should not look at a failure as a failure. They should just look at it as a milestone. And if they look at it as a milestone and learn from their mistakes and move ahead in life, I'm sure they would actually be able to attain whatever they are looking for.
Very true. Who was your role model?
My role model, as such, I would not say anybody from the present people, but yes, Napoleon was my role model, because in his dictionary he had erased the word impossible, because he believed that impossible is made up of 3 words. I am possible. There is nothing, and I'm telling you this with experience in my life, there is nothing impossible in this world. We always create that image in our mind all the time that we are unable to do it or this will not happen. It is our own doing. If we create the right picture, human brain is like a video camera. Human mind is like a recorder. Whatever you think, it's a scientific fact. Whatever you think gets converted into pictures. So if I'm looking at a picture that I'm unable to do it, you are clicking a picture in your mind that you cannot do it, and it will get stored in your video camera. So when that particular situation happens, the picture will play that you cannot do it. But there is an art called visualization, where you visualize, where you see, you create pictures of success. You look at it in your dreams, you eat, breathe, dream, sleep those pictures. And when you see the right picture and you create that aura of positivity around you, the vibrations will attract whatever situation you're looking for. And that is the power of attraction. The attraction of thoughts. Whatever, have you ever thought, you go to a party and you don't know anyone and suddenly you will find one person who's a boozard standing with another one drinking, they don't even know each other. How did they become friends? With the vibrations. Whatever vibrations you are creating, the same kind of situations, the same kind of people, the same kind of situations will automatically get attracted towards you. So if you create positive pictures in your mind, automatically, you don't have to work. You only have to work on the picture. Automatically things will happen in your life. So there is nothing which is impossible. You want to do anything in life, just create that picture with sincerity, put in your hard work, and I said just live with that dream and eventually it will turn into a reality.
What a positive picture of positivity you're portraying to the listeners.
Thank you.
And has there been any situation, Lieutenant Rita Gangwani, when you have felt angry at somebody, some situation, and you have thrown your anger, you look so calm and relaxed and positive person?
Unfortunately, yes, there have been couple of situations, especially in our own country, I would say. There is a lot of discrimination between a man and a woman in our country. There are many places where I have applied as a trainer or have gone ahead to speak to the management, but I have got a back seat because I am a lady.
I'm a woman.
A lady, and that too I'm very short at height. So people think, that a person who's short at height, people look at it as a disability, unfortunately. And that makes me very angry because I believe all good things come in small packages. Look at all the big shots in the world. Most of them were short at height. So sometimes when I when I face this kind of a discrimination, a gender discrimination, because I am a lady, I can't do this, because I'm short, I can't do this, it makes me lose my temper. But yes, I have learned that when you actually deliver much more than what they expect, they have to change their way to look at the situation. So yes, this happens unfortunately, but you can't help it because India still remains very male dominated, and we are working on women empowerment. I'm sure very soon, very, very soon, we will see the difference. It is happening, but we still have a long way to go.
The things are changing. Is there any other magic formula also for success you want to share with the listeners?
I won't say there is any magic formula to success. But yes, there are certain qualities which you need to inculcate in yourself. The biggest one is patience. Unfortunately, in today's world, people have become very instant, like instant noodles and instant food, and everything has to be instant. People do not wait for the right opportunity. People do not wait for the right moment. They want everything to happen overnight, which is not possible. They say success which comes very easily is not long lasting. But success which takes a long time, you build on the foundation and then you receive it, it stays with you forever. So one thing you have to learn in your life is to have patience. Develop patience with the art of meditation. Learn meditation. It will teach you a lot of patience. You will be able to look within, see your negativity, and work on your negative points. One is which is patience. The second thing, which is the formula of success, is be original. Unfortunately, most of us, we are always comparing ourselves to others. We look at other people, and there's a very beautiful saying I read somewhere which said, if you feel that the other person's grass is more greener, instead of feeling angry or instead of feeling jealous with that other person's grass, water your own grass and make it more greener.
So beautiful.
Yeah, the situation says that you need to work on your own self. You are an individual in yourself. Whatever you have, you are a designer piece. There is no one like you on this earth. So work on your own self. Work on your positivity instead of comparing yourself to the other people. And if these two things you inculcate, believe in yourself, have patience, and third, as I said, time management, I'm 100% sure success will be yours.
Yeah, Rita ji, you have got so many laurels and recognitions. And what do you think is the significance of these awards and honors for you, and which one you are very proud of?
God has been kind, yes. I have received a lot of awards. But what I believe that awards is just a name. People give you awards because they feel that you are doing a wonderful job. But people who receive the award should not take it as the ultimate. People who receive the award should look at it as a stepping stone to cross their own benchmark the next time. So for me, an award is definitely an appreciation from people. I look at it, I thank them for whatever they have given me. But for me, an award is a stepping stone to more. What next? What next? And God has been kind that, there's a beautiful saying again which says, it's easy to find success, but it is very difficult to maintain it. Because every time you go somewhere, people will expect you to give a class of training or whatever work you are doing. And if you are little short of giving A, things will go bad for you. So award is, I would say, is again a kind of a thing which makes you go beyond that. So next time you have to go better than that. Only then you would earn more. So the best award which I have received is Lord Baden-Powell award, which came through the President of India.
Congratulations.
And thank you very much. And that was to inspire the youth of India. And that is something, once you are recognized by the highest authority of your country, it definitely makes you feel special. So that has been my most proud moment till date. And I would, through this forum, like to thank everyone who has recognized me till today. And I look forward to more. Of course, everybody is hungry for appreciation. And I look forward to more.
Congratulations
Thank
for
you.
the achievement. Lieutenant Rita Gangwani, you were mentioning about some challenging aspect of your life which you're doing right now. Would you like to share it with the
Of
listeners?
course, yes. The thing is that India has now become very, very tourism friendly. We receive people from all over the world, people from Afghanistan, people from Korea, people from America, Australia, from almost all over the world they are visiting India. And what happens is, as a normal Indians, we only know our own culture. We don't know the culture of other people. So there are a lot of areas, maybe it's the hotel industry, the hospitality industry, or the medical industry, or the education industry. We get all these people we are dealing with from different countries. So if you do not understand the nitty-gritties of their country's culture, it becomes difficult for us to actually give them the best of service. So the most challenging thing which I'm doing at the moment, and I'm researching at the moment, is I'm trying to understand the different beliefs of different cultures. What are their beliefs when they deal with people? What are their beliefs when they are sick? What are their beliefs with education? What are the beliefs if they've had a accident or some kind of a tragedy in this country? There are certain things we have to understand about their culture, because we are all different. We may look alike. Even if you look at a person who's from Thailand, a person from Japan, a person from Korea, a person from China, to us Indians, they all look alike. Because we all feel that they have the same face structure. But when you go deeper, you will be able to see that even on their faces, there is something different, because people coming from different countries, different backgrounds, different upbringing have something different. So how they were brought up, what are the habits they believe in every day, what is the culture things they do every day, what are the customs they follow every day. This is the most challenging thing I'm doing. And as I feel, okay, maybe there will be n number of cultures in the world, and once I finish that, somebody comes and tells me of another culture. So there are so many cultures and there's so much to learn. It's a never ending process, and that's the most challenging thing I'm doing at the moment. I'm trying to put in all the cultures within myself, so that when I teach people to deal with all kinds of people, I should be able to pinpoint the mistakes which we do as Indians.
So how long you have been doing all this?
Well, this research has been going on for 6 months now. And every day I find something new to learn. And I think I will be devoting another month or 2 on this, and then probably create a module of starting to teach people about the culture diversity, how to deal with people from different cultures all around the world.
Any message you want to convey to people, to youngsters or the women you said?
Well, I would just like to tell people that, never give up in life. As I said, that it's a stepping stone. And there's a very beautiful saying in Hindi which I would like to say. वक्त पर वक्त ही बदलेगा तेरा वक्त, वक्त पर वक्त ही बदलेगा तेरा वक्त, क्योंकि वक्त वक्त की बात है कि वक्त नहीं बदलता.
Very beautiful.
So just wait for the right time. There is always the right time for things to happen. Things will happen. Have patience. Have patience. Things will change. And just continue to put in your 100%, and you will see one day you will definitely find your dreams.
You mentioned about singing also.
Ji.
So listeners must be waiting for a song, beautiful song from you.
Well, since this program is going to be worldwide, I'm sure most of the youngsters must be listening, and they would be more fond of the present generation song rather than the oldies or classics. So I will sing a song from Parinita, which is very close to my heart. It says, कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी. नई 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 ये बातें हैं पुरानी. हाँ, कैसी पहेली है ये, कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी. हाँ 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 थामा, हाँ रोका इसको किसने, हाँ ये तो बहता पानी. हो कैसी पहेली है ये, कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी. ला 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 ला, zoo 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 zoo. पीले इसे इसमें नशा, जिसने पिया वो गम में भी हंसा. पल में हंसाए और पल में रुलाए ये कहानी, हो कैसी पहेली है ये, कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी.
Very melodiously sung.
you.
Listeners must have enjoyed it. And here, listeners, I'm sitting with Lieutenant Rita Gangwani, and I know that she's a face reader as well. So why not take this opportunity to ask her to read my face, since nobody else is there.
Okay, reading your face. Well, I would like to teach you also how to read face.
Sure.
Well, according to the Chinese face reading, we divide face into 4 zones. The first is your ear. So, when you're talking about your from childhood to 10 years, it's basically from your ears. Then right from your hairlines till your tip of the eyebrow. So, from 10 years to tip of the eyebrow is 10 to 30 years. Then from the tip of the eyebrow to the tip of the nose is 30 to 50 years. And from nose to tip of your chin is 50 plus. So when you are looking at a person's face and you're trying to see what is, generally if you're looking at somebody's face, you should see that all the 3 zones of the face should be equal. But you will find that most of the people don't have the 3 equal zones. Some people have the 10 to 30 year is bigger, or some may have 50 plus size bigger. So when you see a bigger zone, that means that person's life has been comfortable during that particular age group. And if the zone is tighter, that shows that person may have faced problems during that particular zone. Second thing, when you look at a face, you have to also look at the coloration. Because sometimes you get these blue marks under the